Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thank you for joining us today on this cold Sunday in the UK. And following with our weekly updates, weekly uh, um, catch up, weekly collective meditation, and all of these are simply intended to help us develop a better way to navigate the changes that we are all now being foisted into. So, through our analysis of the stuff that we were looking at last year, looking at how emotions change over the period of time with lockdown, with restrictions. And so we've been looking at emotional patterns, how they go up and down. And within our own understanding, we feel now we are on the next phase of change. And the next phase of change that we indicated would be the start of February, and it will begin probably by next week. And what can we expect in these changes? We can expect changes that will impact. So, all right, let's get an understanding first, right? So let's get an understanding in terms of how does this work. We, as human beings and all life form, are multidimensional, right? So we have physiology, which is the biology. We have electromagnetic field that comes out of the heart. We have endocrine systems, chemicals that change the stuff within us. We have an entire nervous system. And this entire nervous system kind of encompasses our mind. Now, because it is influenced very quickly with, because it itself is um, uh, has a electromagnetic, meaning that there's an electrical part to it and a magnetic part to it. And like, so if you bring anything near a magnet, you will find that it either attracts or repels, unless, of course, it's inert. But it's a similar kind of effect begins to happen with us as human beings when we are exposed to different things, including when we experience certain emotions like fear, etc. These fields change. Right. As long as we understand that we are a collection of fields, a collection of frequencies that have like an electrical and a magnetic component to it, behind which there's a chemical one and a physical one. All right. As long as we understand that. So when we have any energetic pulses, right? So these pulses are from, say, the sun. These pulses are from beyond the sun, and these are just energetic pulses that we can come through. These pulses begin to influence us. They influence the weather. They influence many things. So this is how we come to our understanding, and through our own experiences as well, and collective knowledge of being able to anticipate certain kinds of phenomenon that we would experience, particularly to do with the mind, particularly to do with our health and well-being. Really, that's what we're interested in. So, as these energies begin to impact us, well, not just impact, they impact everything. And obviously, the current climate is one of you'd say it's like a delusional climate in terms of no one really knows what is actually the truth within the various dimensions of our life, be it political, financial, etc., etc. So these impacts our mental space, this impacts our emotions, and that impacts our behavior. So our anticipation is that from next week, for maybe about 2 weeks, we are back into an energy which is quite intense, particularly during this week in particular. And this energy is likely to make the mind feel quite unsettled. So meditation is really important. Grounding yourself is really important. Go barefoot in the garden if you can, or stand on some wet grass. It's really valuable. And you will find that helps us ground ourselves. And, it's navigation. No one needs to do this. No one needs to, this isn't compulsion. It is simply recommendations and suggestions that have helped us to date, and that will help hopefully others who are along the way as well. So I want to talk about a little bit about this aspect of what can we do. So I want to ask this question. So what did you do for your mental health today? Did you meditate? Did you take some time out? Did you sit alone? What did you do for your emotional health today? What did you do for your physical health today? And what did you do for your sacred health, your transpersonal health? Maybe if you're inclined to pray, you may have taken 2 minutes out in praying or 10 minutes out. So mental health, what did we do? Emotional health, what did you do for yourself? Did you give yourself, take some time out again, have something that you desire to eat? What did we do? What did we do? If we begin to bring these four elements of our health consciously, then navigating this whole space is really a piece of cake. But that's the crux of it. So the Goodman Therapy Health Initiative and the Flame Health Initiative is based on these four elements. And our elements are very simple, and we're just asking, as of today, the 7th of February, let's take time out. Let's look at what we do for our mental health every day, for our emotional health every day, for our physical health every day, and for our transpersonal health every day. These four elements. And it could be 2 minutes of each, 5 minutes of each, but consciously. And then see what happens. Recognize what then happens to us as how we feel, to our health and well-being, to our relationship with others, but more importantly, the possibility of aligning ourselves with the kind of universal intent of change that's we're underway now. And the universal intent is something that's known within my worldview as Hukam. And there are many ways to explain this, but the best is to become absorbed and immersed in that, right? So one is we can look at the change that's going underway and we can say, oh, I accept that the change is going underway. This has an element of our ego in it. The second method of sorry, I've lost my thought because I've just read Perpetual Equilibrium. I recited 108 Vaigurus on a mala. So that was your sacred health today, was it? That's wonderful. So going back to where I lost myself there. If we begin to look at aligning ourselves within ourselves, and things like heart coherence is a good meditation for emotional health. And mindfulness is good for the mind. Recitation of a mantra like Perpetual Equilibrium is telling us is wonderful way to connect with your sacred space, and that's your transpersonal health. And maybe going for a walk like Manny was talking about earlier on is maybe a good thing to do for your physical health. This alignment of our health goes from acceptance of change to recognizing of change, to understanding the nature of change, and then immersing ourselves in change, right? From Manier, we go to Bujie, which is understanding, to Pachaniye, which is recognition in terms of a recognition in which you are part of that recognition. You too are part of that change. And then finally, immersion. And by doing this, by taking a control of just a few moments in a day for these four aspects of our health, we will begin to align ourselves, not just within ourselves, our mind, emotions, physical health, but more importantly, our transpersonal, our sacred health, together with this wider, expansive change that we are all now immersed in. And here we go from going with the flow to becoming the flow. How do we become the flow? Is because we begin to take charge of the dimensions of our health, certainly those four dimensions at this stage. And that in itself is your ability to manifest, your ability to change, your ability to be participate in the change in a constructive and positive space, in a way that is constructive for yourself, because change has two elements to it. Change always has to have destruction on one side, construction on the other. That's how change happens. So if we are connected and attached to the destructing part of it, then we feel a lot of suffering. If we become open to the change to be what it is, which is the deconstruction on one side, as the reconstruction takes place, then we can participate in the reconstruction. So let's begin our reconstruction of self for 2021. As we are moving into the spring energy, we are making this part of our preparation to take hold of the spring equinox energy, where we can allow ourselves, and so we are aligned with the universal change. This is why it is so important to recognize the cycles in nature, because you can align yourselves with those cycles of nature such that you are able to flourish. That's the word I will use. You're able to flourish. And so from aligning our health to aligning with the big, the hukam, right down to then flourishing in a way that is constructive rather than destructive, right? A place of hope, a place of optimism, a place of change, where the warrior gets excited at the petty battlefield. And that's all life is. It's a battlefield. So take charge of that possibility. Take charge of that. Just have the intention to take charge of that. And life begins to assert its own positive dynamic in the change that is so needed in this day and age. So, in short, what we're saying is February begins the next phase of change, which is quite significant emotionally, mentally, and physically. So physical symptoms that we experience, some of this in last year, we remember, were a lot to do with headaches, feeling tired very quickly, drained very quickly, feeling unmotivated, unable to do anything, like almost like you're working through treacle. And we can quite easily get paranoid and say, oh my God, there's something wrong with me. All we're saying is, notice that these are the kind of changes that we may expect, are likely to experience over the next few weeks. And as you experience this, the best way to navigate yourself through this is something for your mind, something for your physical health, something for your emotional health, something for your transpersonal health. Every single day, just one event for each one of those. Let's see where we get. So for transpersonal health, because many people ask the question for emotional health and transpersonal health. For emotional health, for transpersonal health, even lighting a candle and recognizing all those ancestors that have always been there and have taken through so much, went through the same hardships you did, and many, many times worse perhaps, but yet they stood there and they gave rise to the fact that you're here. Just lighting a candle with that intention is a space of sacredness. You don't need if you haven't got the desire or understanding or wishing to go into the whole sacred space, then this is a nice secular way of connecting to your whole genetic lineage. For the second, for the non, for those who are interested in developing spiritual intelligence, spiritual vision, then starting with a mantra is a really good way of doing this, where the mantra represents that sacred space within you. From nothing, it emanates. You listen to it, you recite it within yourself. Vaheguru is a good one that we've been using in at the center, and hopefully we'll use it again this week. Soham, which is to do with the breath that we did last year. Please refer to that. There's some really good, powerful mantras that can be used. And as perpetual equilibrium uses Va, Hey Guru, just an internal recitation and listening to it for 108 times, which is what the mala is a really valuable way of connecting with that sacred space within yourself. And creating a sacred environment in your home or in your place can be a really valuable thing. And this can include, statues that represent some sacred divinity for you, incense, something that's growing maybe, and, your sacred objects, things that have significance for you. Just creating a sacred space around you so you recognize, because if you begin to recognize what is there, it begins to manifest. And so it's so valuable to create a sacred space, a little home mandar, as they used to call them back in the day, right? A little sacred space, a little place where you light a candle, your place to sit, meditate, relax, pray, whatever you want to do. Sacred space, a really important way of connecting. And if you can combine your meditation with something like the sacred space, then you can, have two elements that you've done for your transpersonal health and your mental health, right? So from now onwards, we're going to look at these in these 4 ways. This is the Gurmat and the Flame model of health, and it has stood the test of time and demonstrated to be really valuable and effective for so many people around the world over the last 10 years. And we will hopefully bring more and more elements to this as we go along to these 4 areas of health. Okay. So shall we begin our meditation? I'll just make myself comfortable. Okay, so we will begin today with our regular meditation. So as always, take a moment, closing your eyes. And as you close your eyes, becoming aware of the fact that you are within yourself. That you have awareness of the back of your eyelids. And you have awareness of your inner space. And your inner space can include your thoughts. So if you were to just repeat a word in your mentally, the word Vaheguru perhaps, you notice you can hear it. Try that again. So within yourself, just simply saying the word Vaheguru. So you notice as you are able to say it within yourself, you're also able to hear it. This is how you know that you're saying it. So first there is the intention to say it, the knowledge what to say, and then the execution of it. So as you can hear it. And this is probably the simplest way to practice mantra meditation, and you can synchronize that with your breath. Now bring your focus just to the general awareness of your body. Notice anything dominant within your body that's Perhaps a pain, an ache, an itch, a tightness, a sensation that's dominant. See if you can notice anything within yourself. Now bring your focus to the seat you're on, and your intention at this stage is simply to become aware of sensations in your body. So notice there are sensations where the body makes contact with whatever you're sitting on. And these sensations, you don't need to name them, need to identify them, you just need to sense it. And as you sense it, you can bring your focus upwards towards your hips. And now, having awareness of your hips on the side, at the back, and at the front. Just awareness of the whole area. And as you breathe out, bring your focus down to your thighs. Just sensing your thighs as best as you can. From your knees, bring your focus down towards your ankles. From your ankles, becoming aware of your feet. And then from your feet, becoming aware of the soles of your feet as best as you can. Bringing your focus back to the seat. And now notice how well you are supported. Wherever you are, notice how well you're supported. Notice that. Bring your awareness to the space above your head. All the way up. Through the skies, the clouds, moving further and further. That's the space you are in. You can't be anywhere else. Notice the air that you're breathing. The air that you're breathing can only be the air that's in front of you. See if you can notice the environment around you. Just becoming aware of the warmth or the coolness of the environment around you. Awareness of the sounds that are around you. Coming back to the chair or the floor that you're sitting on, noticing that you are in fact held in space, embedded in time and space. Can't be anywhere else. Important to recognize that. Notice that the back is straight, bringing your focus gently up your lower back. Next breath in, bring this focus up towards your middle back. Remember, your intention is simply to notice what's going on around your body at the moment, sensing different parts of your body. Gently bringing this focus up towards your shoulder blades, from your shoulders, moving down towards your elbows, gently moving down towards your wrists, moving to the hands, the palms of your hands, and then notice the fingers on your hands. Do they feel loose or do they feel rigid? Allow them to soften as well. As you breathe in, bringing your focus now to your eyes. Notice the darkness. Allow your eyes, this part of the body, to soften. Moving your focus now to your tongue. Again, notice if the tongue feels firm or soft. Allow it to soften. Relax your face, allow it to soften. And as you breathe in, once again, just taking a moment to notice your entire body, just sensing it. Bring your focus now to your chest. Notice how you feel within yourself. Does this moment feel enough? Enough? Is this moment enough? Do you feel settled? Do you feel unsettled? Do you feel calm? Do you feel anxious? On your next breath out, begin to listen to the sounds around you. Not looking for the sounds, not seeking them out, allowing them to come to you, acting like a receiver. A moment to just notice the silence around you. When you're ready, bringing your focus just beneath your nose. Begin to watch your breath. And you're setting your intention. And your intention today is moving from present moment to presence. Becoming aware of awareness itself as best as we can. And to begin, we will watch our breath, focusing our awareness on the movement of the breath. Holding our focus to the movement of the breath. Allowing our breath to breathe by itself. Begin to notice the four parts of your breath. The in-breath as it comes in, stops. There's a little gap before the out-breath begins, stops before there's an in-breath. See if you can notice these four parts of your breath. Now bringing your focus to your out-breath, in particular, following your out-breath all the way till the end, and noticing that little gap before the in-breath begins. Refining our awareness, following the out-breath all the way till the end, and noticing the little gap. Focusing your awareness like a laser, following your out-breath all the way till the end as best as you can. Stay with your breath. Notice how the breath feels now. Awareness of how the breath feels. Does the breath feel long or does it feel short? Does the breath feel fast or does it feel slow? Stay with your breath. Does your breath feel smooth or does it feel erratic? Does your breath feel even or does it feel irregular? Stay with your breath. Moving our focus now to the temperature of the breath. Does the breath feel cool or does it feel warm? Does the in breath feel the same as the out breath? Stay with your breath. Allow yourself to go. Allow the breath to breathe by itself. And now bringing your focus to the sound of your breath. Notice the sound of the in breath. Notice the sound of the out breath as best as you can. Notice the sound of the breath as it comes in. Notice the sound of the breath as it goes out. Does the in breath sound the same as the out breath? Notice how the object of awareness has changed from temperature to sound to length to flow, but the awareness hasn't changed. Still aware of the sound of the breath as it comes in, sound of the breath as it goes out. The awareness doesn't change. The object of awareness changes. On your next breath out, begin to listen to the sounds around you. And we're going to allow our awareness to follow the sound of the bell and see if we can merge our awareness with the silence, the stillness, and the emptiness at the end of the bell. Notice the presence. Bringing your focus to the experience. Present to the stillness. Present to the silence. Present to the calmness. Present to being present. Gently bringing your focus just beneath your nose and sitting with your breath. Sharing the stillness. Creating a moment of peace and tranquility for ourselves and others around us. On your next breath out, gently expand your awareness, becoming aware of your whole body. How still the body seems. The heart beats by itself, and the world unfolds by itself. Yet you remain in stillness and silence and in peace. Notice you're still sitting on the same place you began, noticing the sensations around the body, where the body makes contact with your chair or the floor. Bring your focus to your thighs, moving it down towards your ankles, and then becoming aware of your feet. Notice that the back is still straight, upright, shoulders are relaxed, as are arms and hands. Your eyes are still closed, your mouth is still closed, your face is relaxed. Coming back to your breath. As you breathe in, you can sense your body. As you breathe out, you can sense your body. When you hear the next bell, use this bell to draw a few deep breaths in, and in your own good time, gently opening your eyes. Take your time. Everyone back. Hope you are. Sorry to disturb your peace. Thank you for joining us. Be safe. Thank you so much for the wonderful uh, comments and for the support that we can all give one another in light of common humanity. For this is the ultimate selfish act, is to become selfless. The ultimate selfish act is to become selfless. So thank you so much, my friends, and may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be peaceful, may you be safe, and may you always know you are always looked after. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ